I've been saying for the longest of times that we are not tied or stuck to living in the West. We're not under any obligation to any diminished, absent Black community in the West. No, I don't know how it is in the States, but we don't have one in the UK anymore. So there's nothing to tie us here. A lot of us haven't got any kids. A lot of us, our God bless wives have divorced us. Some of us can't see our children, or we might see them once every other weekend and half the holidays. That's called standard contact time in the UK. I'm sure something similar in the US. The bottom line is we are not tied to living in the West. And trust me, there's a quality of life and purpose elsewhere. I focus on the African continent. You might focus on Asia or some other place, and that's fine. Anywhere. All I want for Black men is to be able to self-actualize and have purpose for life, have a reason to live. For me, that's the African continent, adding into what's going on there and all of that sort of stuff. Not just being a leech and not just bringing a Western mindset, a Western male mindset to Africa. No, leave our Western brains, call it that simp brain if you want, leave it at the airport, leave it at Miami airport when you get on the plane to go to the African continent, leave it at Heathrow or Gatwick if you're flying from the UK. Wherever you're flying from in the West, leave your brain there, right? And develop a new brain for the country where you're going. Leave your brain at the airport so that you don't infect, listen carefully, so that you do not infect, right? Bring your infection or your programming that you've been given from a little baby, a little child, a little boy in whatever Western country you're leaving, right? That's so that you don't infect the culture where you're going to. The idea is to treat the women where you're going, even though this live stream's not been about relationships. The idea is to treat the women where you're going like the men that are already there. Does that make sense? And also to contribute to the community where you're going to, even though we don't necessarily have communities in some of our countries where we're leaving, where we're running from, even though we may not have community in these countries, the idea is that we should want to contribute to a real community where we're going to. Does that make sense? You know, we're not going to other countries to destroy those countries and turn those countries into the mess, right, where we're trying to run from. The idea is we're trying to build or add to, you know, where we're going to. That's the idea. Otherwise, keep your mess in your country. Keep it there.